So when talking about the New York Knicks, I made a video yesterday saying that they absolutely should not carry both Tyler Kolek and Bacome Diadier. Diadier makes more sense. He was a first round pick, but he's also like 6'8" and younger than Kolek. The issue with Tyler Kolek, it's not that he's not talented because he certainly is. Kolek can score, he can shoot. He's also a very good passer. He doesn't turn it over. But the difference between a guy like Jalen Brunson and Tyler Kolek is that Brunson, despite not being athletic, he's got the best footwork probably in basketball. He gives you 25 and 8 a night on elite efficiency, and we know that he's probably the best leader in the game, the best winner. I really don't care what anyone says. This dude took an all-time Patrick Mahomes type of pay cut to be able to give the Knicks flexibility. OG Anunoby took basically the max. Cat is on a super max. Josh Hart's on a team-friendly deal. But Jalen Brunson, this is one of the craziest things we've seen in the history of basketball. And Kolek, I really like Tyler Kolek. He just isn't ready, and I don't know why the Knicks would be rostering guys who aren't ready to step in and to play. I think Bacome Diadier is going to take a leap. He's got a long ways to go in his own right, but because he's 6'8", he can put the ball on the floor. That's going to translate very nicely to the league. I also think Dottie is a good defender, which is something Kolek can't really say. And it's not Tyler Kolek's fault. He's not athletic. He's not the tallest guy with a super long wingspan. Kolek, I think, could develop into a very, very serviceable backup point guard, but the Knicks don't have time. Like the Knicks, it almost feels like they've got to win this season because the Boston Celtics don't have Jason Tatum. The Indiana Pacers don't have Tyrese Halliburton. And as much as I hate to say this, I wish they did. If the Knicks win the championship, they win the championship. But obviously, we're going to hear about, Halliburton and Tatum didn't play. A chip's a chip. I want to play a fully healthy Celtics. That's why I was annoyed when Tatum went down with like a couple minutes left. The Knicks would have won that game in the series anyway. But it's just people want to make excuses. And, obviously, we saw what happened with the Pacers series. If the Knicks had gone to their bench throughout the season and they had taken the pressure off of Brunson, who had to bring up the court every single possession, they probably win that series. And another thing as well for the Knicks is they don't have a good defense, and it makes sense because they have Tibbs, because they have Cat and they have Brunson. But if you add in Malcolm Brogdon, he's a good defender. Everyone talks about his ability to shoot the three ball and to facilitate. Brogdon can defend, and Landry Shamet is also a 3-and-D wing. I like the addition of both of them. The question is, how can you get them both on the roster? The Knicks are a significantly better basketball team with Brogdon and Shamet versus last time. Shamet was on the team, but Yabusele and Clarkson is what I was getting at. It's been a long day. My bad about that. I got up super early, as early as I've gotten up in 3 years. If I'm being real, it's been a while since I got up this early on a Saturday. But that's the thing about the Knicks is they just look so dangerous with a second unit of Shamet, Brogdon, Deuce, and Mitchell Robinson, and Yabusele. I just love that unit right there. They got Jordan Clarkson as well. Even Bacome Diadier, they could probably throw in certain situations to try to develop him. I think the Knicks are going to be ahead in a lot of games, which means that they'll be able to go to Diadier, and I'm excited about that. But for New York, they just have an opportunity to be able to bring in veterans on minimum because they're being promised to play for a contender. They're being promised to be a part of the rotation. And obviously, they're playing in New York City. I was in New York a couple of weeks ago. If you guys didn't know, I don't actually live in the city. I live in Connecticut. So I took the train. It was like an hour and a half. And I was in the city. And, dude, there's just nothing like New York City. I'm just going to be completely honest with you, man. The roster just feels perfect with Shamet and Brogdon, given that the Knicks need more depth at that position. And I get everyone's going to be like, hey, well, we got Jordan Clarkson. Deuce is still here. Like, I get that. But Brunson needs guys around him that can facilitate, that can score, that can play, make, and rebound. Just do everything. He just needs talent around him because he's been asked to do so much. And Brunson, he's like 6'2". We haven't seen guards his size be the best player on a championship team. Steph Curry was 6'3", but Steph doesn't play like Brunson. Allen Iverson only could do so much. Isaiah Thomas won some championships, but it just doesn't happen. You look at the best guys. I'm talking about an AD, a LeBron, Nikola Jokic, and Jason Tatum. Like these guys are 6'8" and above, and that's the thing that the Knicks lack. So Brunson, I'm not saying he can't be the first option. He can, but you sure as hell better have a 1B to his 1A, which the Knicks do in Cat, and you certainly better have depth and defenders around him, which The Knicks do. To me, I'm not saying Tibbs is the only reason the Knicks lost, but I don't think Tibbs necessarily was ever gonna win. And I made multiple shorts throughout these past couple of seasons, even before Brunson got here, saying that Tibbs would never win, and people hated on me for it. Tibbs is a high floor, but he doesn't have that high ceiling. And I think a guy like Mike Brown gives you both. Like we know the Knicks are probably going to be one of the top teams in the East, and then the ceiling all of a sudden is much higher because Mike Brown. We went to the finals with LeBron, and he was an assistant with the Warriors, right? When they won the championship in 2021, I want to say, or was it 21? I don't know, maybe 22. But I like Mike Brown. He was also with the King. Like you gotta understand, Mike Brown took over a Kings team that really wasn't that special, and he turned them into one of the best offenses we've seen in the history of basketball. Imagine what he's gonna do with this New York Knicks team. Last season's Knicks, I thought were pretty solid. I mean, okay, pretty solid is an understatement. I thought last year's Knicks team was like really good, but this team is so much better because now you got that extra year of Cat and these guys having that chemistry. And the bench is just so much better. I mean, Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson, those are some of the best bench guys in the league, especially Yabusele, man. I can't believe he took a little bit of a pay cut to come to the Knicks. And then you add in Malcolm Brogdon, who, when healthy, gives you 5 assists a game. He's going to shoot the ball at a 40% clip, play high level defense. Landry Shamet being back. Hopefully, Bacom Dadier and Ariel Hikporti can take those leaps. You'd have to imagine that Mohamed Diawara will be a part of the roster, just given that the Knicks are going to use that second round exception. This team has so much potential to win the championship. And a lot of it is just the roster and the coaching and things like that. But it's also just, like I said, with the injuries. I mean, as much as it sucks to say, that's kind of the thing is the Knicks can't mess this up. The Cavs are still going to be hanging around. I think the Pistons definitely deserve our attention. I think that would be an even better series than it was the last time. But this is a really a golden opportunity for the Knicks to be able to trade Tyler Kolek and to just sign Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, maybe they'll wait till camp and let Garrison Matthews and Brogdon compete for that final roster spot. Landry Shamet feels like a lock if I'm being completely real. But, Matthews doesn't really make sense if Shamet is being brought in. You'd have to bring in Brogdon and Matthews, which I just like Shamet and Brogdon. Two guys that will play defense, that can shoot the lights out of the basketball. They're tough, physical. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon, of course, was the sixth man of the year a couple of seasons ago, back when IQ was coming off the bench for us and he finished runner-up. So I'll probably leave it at that. Dude, I have a nasty sunburn. I've been in the sun since like 8 in the morning, dude. Oh my God, it's brutal. It's an absolutely brutal sunburn. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's your boy Nick Daily, and I'm out. Yee!